Mera sets sail. Here's your look at the new Cryptozoic Entertainment DC Comics Bombshells Mera vinyl figure. Designed by Pedro Estudillo and sculpted by Anders Ehrenberg, Mera joins the ranks of Harley Quinn and Black Canary. Collect the entire line of DC Comics Bombshells from the folks over at Cryptozoic Entertainment. Now, before we set sail, we're first going to figure out how tall Mera stands. I'm stopping not quite at the head, nor am I stopping at the trident. Instead, I'm stopping the Ultra Measure-tron right to the very top of her sailor's hat, getting a close enough read as best I possibly can for you, my loyal viewers. Thank you for that, by the way. Mera stands at a rather impressive 7.7 inches in height. Switching that to centimeters. You're looking at 19.6 centimeters tall. And, of course, could not wrap up this new lineup of DC Bombshells without, of course, doing comparisons between Mera, which we're looking at right now, compared to Harley Quinn, which we just looked at, comparing then to Black Canary, the first Bombshells that we had a look at in this 3-video review. In all honesty, just between you and me, I actually think I like Harley Quinn the least. Now, don't get me wrong, even as a big fan of Harley Quinn as I am. It's not so much that Harley Quinn is a bad vinyl figure. Far from it. But I think comparing her to, say, Mera and of Black Canary, I still think Harley Quinn might be the least favorite, at least of these three. My favorite, now looking at all of them collectively, I think Black Canary is still my top favorite. I absolutely love the design here of Black Canary. But Mera is actually a really neat looking Bombshells as well. Of the three, even though we really haven't delved deeply into the vinyl figure here of Mera, let me know your comments down below which you think is your favorite or your order of favorites of the Bombshell figure from this current wave. Let me know down below. Now, while you are typing away and let me know your favorite order from your favorites to your least favorites of this wave of Bombshell figures, let me further add to perhaps your argument, or perhaps the arguing point as to which one is your favorite, by starting this review by having a look at the display base that Mera is standing atop of. It's pretty much the exact same, although to be fair, now you're seeing a little bit more that you didn't quite see as much of with the Black Canary or of Harley Quinn. You've got the little notations there on the side of 5 etched in there missiles or bombs. Then, of course, again, she is standing atop of this. Nice rivets that have been added across both bands of the bomb. And then you've got a little star formation on the back. I know, again, we've kind of touched base extensively already on these display bases. But again, I just feel the need to want to show you guys. It's really neat that they're not just simply giving us circular bases. Rather, instead, we're getting ourselves creative means, and of course playing then into the Bombshells kind of branding, you get them actually standing on top of bombs. Again, I really like that. As we move our way up, we are treated to a slightly darker complexioned Mera versus the other two paler vixens that we've already had a look at. Yes, I must say I do like whether this is just her natural skin pigmentation or if this is the sun that has tanned her slightly darker. I really do like the contrast of Mera having slightly more darker colored skin versus the other two Bombshells that we had a look at. I do really think that she's got a cute And in no way me saying cute is a means to diminish the figure at all. She definitely has a little bit more of a quirkier, cute look to her versus the other two Bombshells that we looked at before. She's got a big smile on her face. And even though that she is a little bit more of a slightly darker skin, you can still see that they've airbrushed in the little cheek areas around just below Mera's eyes. The eyes are actually about the same sort of crystal blue that we saw with Black Canary. Possibly seeming even a little bit lighter than that. And the only way to prove that is compare the two side by side once again. Gosh darn it, I really do like that Black Canary. Yeah, looking at the two side by side, it isn't even quite the same blue. This is kind of more like, I don't know, like an aquamarine blue. This is a little bit more of a primary blue. But I do like that even when they decide to give one character blue eyes and then another character blue eyes, it's simply not just we're tapping into the same palettes, clearly using one different blue than the other. Again, there's a quick look. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time looking at the two side by side because that's what these individual reviews are certainly hopefully for. Again, really a nice contrast between the two different colors, that being the skin color here. So we'll move Black Canary out of the way, still easily my favorite of the lineup. You can see that she is saluting there as well. A little sailor's cap there on the top, perched on top of her head. And you can see that there is a raised M to also indicate that this is Mera. So if anybody was looking to claim the sailor's cap, they would know right off the bat the M is for Mera. Also hoping not to claim this is her trident that she's holding into her hand. It sort of dug its way into the display base here, and then she is holding it, but she's really only holding it by 3 fingers and a thumb, minus, of course, the pinky finger, which is very cutely sticking out on its own. The trident looks like it's probably been cast in yellow plastic instead of actually been painted in yellow plastic. Things that have been painted in, it looks like the pants are probably done. I don't think the pants have been painted. I think everything else that's been added to over top of it, like the scaling down the side of her leg, for example, likely was probably what was painted. I don't think it was likely the white. She has open-toed shoes with cute little bows on the tops there. And I like even that the pattern of the scaling, something, of course, that Aquaman would be very familiar in having, is also making its way down to her shoes. So she's clearly matching her outfit, her shoes to her outfit, and that's always a good thing. Her yellow belt there also looks like it's a very similar color to that of the trident, and even like her bracelets, the little gauntlet bracelets are also done there in yellow. I really do like this outfit quite a bit. Taking cues, of course, from the sailor's outfit, there's a little bow on the front, which makes its way out to that little kind of flap of fabric that drapes its way over the shoulders. The very common sight to see with like the old vintage sailors. The hair sculpt is actually quite good. Again, this doesn't look like there's a whole lot of paint other than just the primary orange color. I mean, even from a real distance, too. I don't know if they would ever entertain the idea of reusing molds, and certainly this would be branching away from DC Comics, but this would be a really great head sculpt also for Mary Jane. I don't know how that would necessarily work. I'm sure they're paid license-wise to handle only one brand. They can't branch that off, but certainly that does look quite a bit, actually, like Mary Jane. I like that. Like overall, again, I'm really liking this line. Maybe for last wrap-ups, just as the producer is telling me to wrap this up, I am, just for 1 second, Mr. Producer, bringing in the other, once again, Bombshells from this new wave of Bombshells that are hitting comic book store shelves right now. Still looking at the 3, I think my favorite is Black Canary, followed closely by Mera. And no real great distance in third place is the Harley Quinn on the far left. Again, each one of them brings something different to the table. Each one of them really are posed differently as well, and their paint are so very different from one another, making each one of them very much unique. Now, you may want to set your sights to your local comic book store, or maybe one that's offshore, to find the Bombshells Mera, along with the Black Canary and Harley Quinn that we looked at in previous videos. All 3 of the new DC Comics Bombshell lineup should be available now in comic book stores. These being vinyl figures, expect to pay about $15 or so for these. That will, of course, depend on which comic book stores you go to, and which part of the world, of course, you're located in as well. Often at times when I'm giving you guys price points, it's always, of course, price points based on what I'm seeing in local comic book stores, because that's really the point of interest for me, at least. I'm not necessarily concerned with what something is worth in Italy if I'm buying something in a Canadian comic book store. So on average, these are about a $14 to $16 price point. They're very affordable. And again, if you're a big fan of the DC Comics Bombshells, Cryptozoic Entertainment is churning out some really cool stuff with the Bombshells lineup. And hopefully that's been proof in the pudding with all the 3 figures that we've looked at in the previous 3 reviews. Today, like I said, we were having a look at the Cryptozoic Entertainment. This was the DC Comics Bombshells Mera. A really fantastic figure. Still second, I think it's the silver to the gold awarded to Black Canary, but still fantastic, cute little renditions of the DC Comics Bombshells. If you guys want to check out some more Cryptozoic Entertainment reviews, would you believe? There's a playlist for not only just Cryptozoic Entertainment, but also DC Comics Bombshells. So if you figure your fancy is Cryptozoic Entertainment, feel free to check out that playlist. If you're more so leaning towards DC Comics Bombshells, there's a playlist there for you as well. I like to make sure that my viewers have sufficient amounts of playlists that if you are interested in one thing, you can continue watching that same similar thing in the same playlist. But entertain the idea as well that you may want to venture out and just check out some of the other stuff that I'm churning out on this channel on a regular basis. As quickly as we're looking at DC Comics Bombshells, I may go with a quick beeline, sorry about the screeching, and I may have a look at a horror figure as well. So there's always stuff new onto this channel that hopefully will be catering to all you various viewers and all your various interests as well. Either way, if you guys haven't done so already, say you're new to this channel and you want to make sure that all the stuff that is being churned out onto this channel, I love using churned, to make sure that you aren't missing out on any of that, make sure you hit that little subscribe button down below. Certainly more videos like this and completely different than this will be coming soon to this channel, so keep your eyes peeled. Ew, I really don't like saying that, and yet I can still keep saying it. I don't know. I'm a glutton for punishment, I guess. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.